Can you please introduce yourself and then tell me the cultural background that you have?
My name is Jessica Pritchard. I grew up in a Hispanic household.
So, good. What is the physical place where you grew up? Can you describe like, kind of the cultural significance of like your house and
Um,
everything around you?
yeah, I grew up in Houston, Texas, in a um, lower income class. Um, I don't know, huge significance culturally. I guess it was just, um, I don't know. It was just uh, trying to think, but
You can come back to that one.
okay.
So, what are some things that you celebrated, or some customs and traditions of Hispanic culture that you or your family celebrated?
So a big one that I remember is Christmas time when we would get together at my grandmother's house to do the rosary. It was really a big tradition. Um, basically, um, the point is to put baby Jesus to sleep until New Year's, and then you wake him up and you put him back on his throne. And then the rosary is each bead is a part of the story of Jesus Christ, and we just went through. We go through each bead of my grandmother telling the story. Sometimes she told it in English, most of the time she told it in Spanish, and then we would respond in prayer with like Hail Mary, Mother of God, held to our Hail Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now within the hour of our death, amen. And so, yeah, it was like a constant thing that we did. You would kiss the baby Jesus, you would blow out a candle, you would take a chocolate, I don't know. It was a big thing because, like, I remember all of us cousins waiting to be of age to wash the baby Jesus. It was like a really big honor. And then if you were a little cousin, my grandmother would make us dress up like angels, and we would be sitting. My grandmother had this whole altar. She used to have it up all year round, but I think she stopped doing that. But it was a whole shepherd's.
Nativity?
Yeah, it was like a whole nativity. Where Jesus was born. It was set up all year round, and like right in the center was this cradle or manger, I guess, where baby Jesus would be laid. And then in her other room, she has a ofrenda, and on that ofrenda is Jesus on his throne, baby Jesus, and it's a glass baby Jesus, like it's a very fragile baby Jesus. But yeah, we would wash it, and it was a big thing. And my grandmother lights candles all the time. That's where she prays. She has pictures of people that have died.
Okay. So going back to the first question, you mentioned a lot of family that would come to Christmas.
Yeah.
Do they live close by, or would they be like everyone lives within a certain distance, or they travel for Christmas time specifically because it's a big tradition?
No, we all live pretty close. I mean, Houston, when you talk about Texas, close is 20 minutes, 15 minutes, right? So we all live generally close to each other. Like you know how like Houston, there's like Channelview area, there's Justino City, there's Galena Park. We're all still in Houston. We're just in those individual kind of outskirts cities. So like my grandmother's in Denver Harbor, and my uncle was in CE, and then CE King area, and then my aunt was in Channelview area, and so all generally within like 15, 20 minutes from each other. And so we would all just go to my grandmother's house. But I mean, now the tradition's passed from my grandmother to my aunt. So now they go to my aunt's house to do it.
But did you guys rely on family being close by or not?
Oh yeah, a lot. Hurricanes would come through Houston, and like I told you, I lived with my uncle for like a month. Whenever hurricane, not Harvey, but the one that starts with an L. There was a hurricane that came through. It was really bad, and power was out for like a long time. School was out, so we lived with my uncle. I think that was Ike. And then prior to that one, we lived with my grandmother because another hurricane had come through. But even not with hurricanes, I mean, sometimes we would have power outages or stuff go wrong, and so we would go stay with my uncle, or during the summers I lived with my grandma sometimes, and my uncles, actually I would stay the night at my uncle's houses a lot. I mean, I was just tossed around a lot because both my parents worked, so.
We'll get to that in a second.
Oh,
yeah. Not in a bad way, not in a bad way. But so now that you live in Germany, so let's go through your life. You started in Houston, and then how'd you get to Germany?
Well, I joined the military. I joined the military, and that didn't get me very far because I just went to San Antonio. From San Antonio, went to Dias, so again, I didn't go very far. Was supposed to go to Florida, didn't do that, went to Texas, and then spent Texas there for 8 years, and then got the opportunity to go to Germany. So we packed up and moved to Germany, all thanks to the United States Air Force.
Thanks, Uncle Sam. So, living in Germany, have you experienced culture shock?
Yeah, like 100%. I don't want to say the Germans. No, there's a really big cultural difference. Like, I guess like the whole that you expect people to have common sense around here is kind of different from being in the States, whereas like
it's demanded.
Like everybody, there's a law for everything, and I feel like here it's more like you should know better. Don't do something stupid. Which I like. It's not that I dislike it, but honestly, the fact that a lot of crime doesn't happen around here is new for me. Growing up in a like tougher neighborhood and always being more afraid. Being able to let our kids run around at a playground and not actually have my eyes on them like 24/7 is not that we're being super lax, but like it's really a culture shock to know that my kids are safe, and then I guess like I would say that like another big culture shock is the courtesies around here are really different. Having to say hi when you walk in all the time and bye when you leave. I feel I have social anxiety, so I feel awkward just randomly telling strangers, choose, like, especially when they don't respond sometimes. But and the whole like when people come and sit next to us in restaurants and expect a greeting. It's very nice. It's not like it's a bad custom. It's just that it's like people come and sit next to you in Houston and you're like, don't talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you first joined the military, did you have a culture shock moving out of Houston too, out of that like family-oriented culture? Into small town Texas.
Yeah, I had to fix. This is gonna sound bad, but I had to fix the way that I talked. I had to fix the way that my like demeanor. Like I don't think I was a very like I wasn't like a ghetto child, but in the eyes of the military, when I started actually working, because in basic training you're just kind of like a robot going through the motions. We don't really talk as much. So, but when I actually like got to work and it was time to like calm down and like have actual one-on-one conversations, like I realized that I had to just change the way that I don't want to say dialect because I didn't talk like Ebonics or anything, but like I wasn't focused on being proper and respectable, and I was saying words that you weren't supposed to, or it was just different. It was just different, and so culturally, yeah, there was like a whole there was a new standard put on me on how I was gonna uphold myself around others, and so I had to adjust because the standard of how you uphold yourself in Houston was if you were prim and proper, no one was really going to respect that, So it's different.
Thanks. Really interesting.
Oh, thanks.
No, I like you're going into a lot of detail. That's really helpful.
Oh, good. I hope so.
So next question. And so what ways have you integrated elements of each of the cultures that you've experienced and lived in into your daily life or into your family?
With my family.
Well, either one, or just
okay.
Just to yourself.
You can say that's a hard one.
No. You can say Lufton.
I don't know. I feel like I'm very adaptable more than I thought I was, and so I think that I guess like adaptable is a good word, but like I guess like it's like all these experiences have really kind of changed me along the way too. I mean, my outlook on things and my experiences. I feel like even the way like I look at raising our kids now is different. I feel like the German culture of like giving your kids that independence so young, or like letting them do what they want and letting them make their choices and just swim in a river naked, like things that like I would never think to do,
especially
from where I'm from. Yeah, especially from where I'm from. It's kind of eye-opening to see just look at the way Calvin's blossomed at 1 year old. He's so much more advanced than like Izzy and River ever were, and they were more sheltered.
Yeah.
So I think that that's like something that I've kind of like taken as like a innovative like way. It's just like the way we raise our children now. And I guess, Lufkin. I'm always opening the windows now, and I feel more stuffy now. Like, if the windows are closed, sometimes I'm like, I like need some fresh air, like let's go outside. And also the going outside. I feel like we go outside a lot more here. Hiking and going to the pool, or just wanting to be outside in general. I feel like we do. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what would you want people to know about your culture that they either tend to overlook, or the stereotypes in movies don't really show?
For Hispanic culture, I feel like something that kind of gets overlooked with Hispanics is our I don't know how to say it. Like it's not like our like I want to say reliability, but like I think that it's a cultural thing to be so adaptable. Like I know as human beings we're adaptable, right? Because like we've changed over time and like we just continue to evolve. But I feel like for Hispanics especially, my entire like if you go down like my lineage, my family's constantly been adapting. Mom's first generation American, grandma was from Monterrey, Mexico, grandfather from Nuevo Leon, and my history just keeps going back and back, where you see that like there was like a lot of moving towards America. And so I just feel like a big thing that people don't realize with Hispanics is that we're constantly, I don't want to say like constantly thriving, but we're just constantly adapting to the next environment. We're constantly moving forward, you know? And we're not doing it in like a power way either. Like it's a genuine like moving forward for better, you know? Because like in Mexico, like women are killed like constantly, you know, like there's a genocide for women in Mexico, and a lot of people don't realize that it's actually a very dangerous place for women. And so like moving to America and like having the freedoms that we have here and the lack of fear, it just shows that when we're moving from where we're coming from, it's not out of more power, what it's genuinely out of needing a better place, you know. And like of course other people move and for bad reasons and stuff, but I think that like it just shows, especially because we don't do it with handouts, right? Like I feel like it's a clawing and a grabbing, and like our work ethic is so strong, you know. I mean, we watched a movie about the astronaut, right, that went into space. Like his parents came to America and immediately start working in a field. Like, and I feel like that's a constant, like, thing that you see. You know, my grandmother came to America and she got 2 jobs. You know, my grandfather came here before she did because he had to work. So he had to leave behind his family, his pregnant wife at the time, because she was pregnant with my mom, and he had to come to America to work, and he even got shot by a cop in the process, you know, because they thought he looked like some guy wanted, you know. And so like I just feel like there's a lot of history, you know, behind Hispanic culture that is rooted in adaptability and what do you call that, like it's not tenacity, but like is it like tenacity? It's like just being able to always, resiliency, that's what I mean. Like there's a resiliency behind our culture, and it doesn't get talked about as much, you know. Everybody's always like talking about every other culture and trying to bring every other culture, and like the thing I love about being a Hispanic is that we're not pushing our stuff all the time, you know what I mean. We're not trying to be at the front, because that's not our reasoning. Our reasoning is because we want a better life, the people that are doing it for the right reasons, right? Because like I said, there's bad people everywhere, but like Hispanics don't do anything because they're trying to get to a place of power. They're trying to get some sort of reward out of it. Like we're doing it because we want a better life for our families and our generations to come, you know. I hope I explained that well.
No, I think you did a perfect job. I mean, perfect segue in the next question too. So what are some values that are especially important in your culture?
Definitely the being able to bounce back, being able to take personal responsibility, and I mean, it's like I think there's like a good and a bad with everything, but like I think a big thing that was like ingrained in me is that your work ethic. It was ingrained in me a little bit, like to like where it became like my identity, which was not good, but it also became a piece of that was like, if your name's on something, you're gonna do it right. You're gonna do it right, and you're gonna make sure that it's done properly. Like it was just ingrained in me that I was going to have a stellar work ethic and that I wasn't going to settle for less. And to fight for what I wanted, I guess, is like a big thing that like my parents and my grandparents like ingrained in me.
Yeah, you definitely just went over.
What?
That's you definitely like show that's what your family has done like for a long time. Right?
Yeah, fighting for what you want, getting to where you need to be, and not making excuses. You know, my dad always said excuses are like buttholes. Everyone has one.
Thanks for coming it down for the seminary.
Yeah.
So, what role does religion and spirituality play in your culture?
A big one.
Yeah.
Yes. So my dad's prayed my whole life. My mom's prayed my whole life. To Jesus and to the saints, which, big in Catholic culture. They prayed to the saints. My grandmother has given me or told me my guardian angel, right? So we believe in stuff like that. My dad would take us to Catholic church. So like that's where I first kind of fell in love with like hymns and listening to the choir sing and just the other traditions too, like the things that I tell you about, like just blessing yourself when you walk in, having the priest bless you with holy water. I mean, it's just stuff I grew up with. Praying on your knees, stuff like that. So that was like a big thing. When my parents fell on hard times, they were always praying. My dad was always praying. Lighting a candle and praying, like it's a big thing in Catholic culture, is to light a candle when you pray. And just having that trust. My grandmother's a big prayer warrior too. I mean, anytime she fell on hard times, and she would tell us stories all the time too. Like she once lost like $1,000 cash, and she couldn't find it, and she looked everywhere, turned everything upside down, and finally just like started praying and asking the Lord to please find the money. She really needed the money. And she looked up, and she had a golden angel that was sitting on her on her fireplace thing. It was like it's like a dresser sort of thing. I don't remember what it was, but it was this golden angel, and it had its arms out like this, and the $1,000 cash was sitting in his hand. And it was like the craziest thing, But like the stories like that are like told around my family quite a bit, with prayer and stuff like that. But a lot of like scripture and stuff wasn't really talked about, I would say. But my dad was really good at telling me Bible stories, and rosaries were a big thing, keeping them for protection. My grandmother would come and bless our home and pray if we had like bad dreams and stuff, and she would put like I don't know, some sort of leaf that was made into a cross above our doors and stuff like that. So I mean, definitely big prayer warriors in my family, but just not a lot of like, there wasn't a lot of like deep rooted stuff, but it was all still very, I mean, at the end of the day, your faith comes down to coming to the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've told me stories of spirituality not connected to like Christian faith, like all the bruja and everything.
My aunt, I would say my grandma, but I don't think my grandma does it. But my aunt will read tarot cards and stuff like that. And my mom has a few beliefs. I mean, you grow up with like, I call it folklore, but I don't think,
I mean, yeah, I think that might be the proper term for it.
Yeah, with the whole like if a black cat crosses you and like just all these things. And so.
Or the owl one, that's something you told me before.
Yeah, like my mom saw, it was a white owl, which is significant. And it means that basically like death is coming, and so to protect the house or whatever my mom was thinking, I don't really know, I'd have to call her to get like the full but basically that's the senses of what it means, is that like death is coming. And so she put a rosary like on every doorknob. It's like a warning like of death and stuff. But my grandmother hates owls. Like that's a big thing. She doesn't like owls because they don't always signify, at least in certain cultural stories, they don't signify good things. I mean, even in Navajo stories, they don't signify good things. So shapeshifters and witches and stuff like that.
Yeah. So.
I was even healed by a medicine lady. If you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then you have the egg too that you do, or like.
Yes, yeah,
The
which
bowl
my
of water
parents
underneath
still.
the bed.
We probably
okay.
still should do the egg thing.
No, it's not on my one.
But like the funny thing is that with the egg thing is that you're just praying over the person. Like
Yeah,
so you
like-
take an egg and you're praying. Where it gets weird is when you break the egg in the water and then you have to read the signs in the egg to figure out what
Yeah,
happened.
so you've seen like looks like there's been a mix of cultural and Christian like things come together.
Mhm.
Oh, like maybe at one time the eggs tried something else. Now the Christian missionaries or somebody has tried to bring it back, and
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think that there's yeah, I mean, we don't just come up with these things.
Yeah.
At least I hope.
somebody
There's
did.
somebody, yeah, I mean, it's coming from somewhere. I mean, why do we say the frog's butt? Nobody knows. So, sana sana colita de rana
Oh,
is the
okay.
frog's butt. Why are we talking about the frog's butt? No one knows.
Thanks for translating. Okay, so how does family and marriage viewed in your culture? Well, I think that's two
Well-
good things for you to talk about.
Yes. So in Catholic culture, really, divorce is bad. So like true rooted Catholics don't do that, right? And so I grew up Catholic, yes, but like divorce is huge in my family. I mean, my mom was divorced, my aunt was divorced, my grandparents were divorced, you know. Even before that, my great grandma, you know, great grandma wasn't really my grandma, you know that story. So, but my uncle's divorced. My other uncle's never even married because he's afraid because divorce is just so big in our family. My brother's been through however many girls, and so is my other brother. So yeah, divorce is huge. Not even just in my mom's side. Like that's also my dad's side. Like. I think my Theo Oscar is the only one that hasn't really gone through a divorce. All the other 14 brothers and sisters that he has gone through divorce. So, yeah, it's a big thing in my family, unfortunately. But so are weddings and parties. So that's a big thing, you know. And we have tons of cousins. Everyone's having babies, so that's another thing, you know.
So then talk about family. Like like you've told me stories about how men treat their husbands and
Men treat their wives.
Yeah, thanks.
Husbands are very catering to wives. They're very, growing up, yeah, I've seen my uncles just are like waiting on my aunts hand and foot. Not just my aunts, my cousins, you know. I mean, you see the way my dad treats me. Like it's just the men are it's funny to say it this way, but like growing up, I've seen the men be the heart of the family. You know, the brothers keeping tight and talking to each other and always being there for one another. And mostly I've seen my dad do it. Like, I think that's why I look up to my dad so much, because I've seen my dad be the protector, not just for me and my mom, but for his brothers and his sisters and his mom and just everybody. Like, I've seen my dad show up on multiple occasions to be the person to put his foot down and say things that needed to be said and kick people in the butt if they needed to be kicked in the butt. Like my dad just not, you know, my dad was not a terrified man, and I mean I still don't think he's a terrified man, although he's getting older. But and I think that the women were always having babies or partying or
quite the mix.
Quite the mix, you know. They were, I mean, not to say that the women weren't like homemakers. Obviously, I didn't live in a lot of the homes, and the homes that I did kind of toss around in, you know, the women were not so great. Like my Aunt Vicky was convicted for drug possession a lot of times, and my Tia Benita, she was in the military, so she was gone all the time anyway. So like. The people that I mostly stayed with was like, you know, my Theo Bear, my Theo Bobo. He was divorced from his wife, who was also a drug addict. So like, there was like a lot of just, I saw a lot of men be stable and be the heart of the home. So I didn't really get to see a lot of the women and how they were. Even my own grandmother, I mean, she was a hard woman. She was a tough woman. So both of them, my abuela and my grandma, they were both, you know,
tough women. They didn't really, not that they didn't like, show me like sides of them being nice and sweet. I mean, I think you see the relationship I have with both of them, but at the same time, they beat me with a meter stick if I was acting up too, so.
I mean, you told me stories of that.
Yeah, so like, yeah, it's just definitely a different dynamic than, I guess, the one I'm trying to bring up with our own children.
Yeah. Perfect. So more on how the family and everybody communicates.
Mm-hmm. They don't.
How is respect typically communicated, either verbally or non-verbally, within your family and within your culture?
Specs? What do you mean?
Respect.
Oh, how's respect?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Voices.
How is respect communicated in? That's a great question. I think respect is communicated through fear, if that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
It's basically, at least growing up. So like I don't, like that I've been away from my family for 10 years now. So things are vastly different now that I've been away for so long. But when I was there and growing up there, it was very much, it was we feared my dad, he was the disciplinary. I mean, I feared my mom too for other reasons though, but mostly it's just because there was a level of respect that we gave my dad because he had self-control with the fear, right? Like my dad wasn't this out of control. Like if he got to the point where he was mad, you really did something wrong. My mom was a fuse, so like getting to that point wasn't hard. Like that, so that didn't warrant respect. But like my dad being able to like have that self-control, and I think with all my uncles, I wasn't a bad kid. I mean, I wasn't the worst of the cousins, but at the end of the day, I can only really tell you like a handful of times any of my uncles ever had to like put me back in my place. So,
yeah. I mean, you can talk about, you grew up all around Hispanic culture, not just within your family, all your friends as well. So.
Oh yeah, well, if we're talking about the streets, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, same thing in school. I would say that like respect was about being feared. Well, and I think it was also just about. I don't think we cared a lot about respect. If I'm being honest, we were dumb. We were young, dumb kids, right? Like there was always a fight between races and just different things, and the goal was never to be looked at with respect. I mean, the goal was just to get through the day, basically, without getting in trouble or getting in the middle of another fight or getting put in the wrong position, and you just respected the teachers because they were your teachers, But I guess the teachers that were able to really relate with us were given more respect, the ones that weren't always trying to push the book, but we're always trying to get to know us on a different level and understand us a little bit more past the tests and all the other things, I was in the like lower end of courses sometimes, like I was pretty good in some courses, but in other courses I was just, like going through, not remedial, but like just going through the average, and I feel like it was in those classes where there was like a few teachers that were just like trying to get us through. They were trying to just get us over. But it was in the upper classes that I would get into, like history, AP history and stuff like that, where I really connected with those teachers a lot more. Like, I don't know if it's a pity on me, but like, no, I think it was just like a pure, like, they enjoyed what they were doing and they really liked to be there. And you got to see that they weren't just there to push you through and get you out of the, they were actually enjoying what they did. And they knew we enjoyed it too, because obviously we're an AP for a reason. So like, that was different to actually get to experience that side. But I guess, like, as respect goes, again, sorry, I just don't think it was really communicated in my school. I think at the end of the day, it was like, whose side are you on? Whose friends are you? Who do you know? Do you do this? Do you do that? And, that was it at the end of the day,
Yeah.
So.
Okay, another good segue. So, are people in your culture likely to be more direct, or do they value more subtlety? So you kind of mentioned both, of like your dad and your uncle were are a lot more direct on how they were.
Mhm.
And I want to answer the question for you, but overall, like growing up Hispanic, is it more direct or more subtle?
I think Hispanics want direct. I don't think we like when you beat around. I mean, I don't know if I'm just speaking personally,
No.
but I hate it when people are passive aggressive or when they don't just tell me like what's going on.
Okay.
It's like I don't want to say like it's such a northerner thing, but sometimes it feels like a northerner thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, it could be both. Like you grew up in the South and also in Hispanic. So
yeah.
it could be yes and.
I feel like you can't really like hurt our feelings at the end of the day. Like I don't know, like that sounds bad, right? But like, cause like you know you can hurt my feelings, but
Yeah. We
I
talked
feel
about
like
resilience for a long time.
right.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the thing about Hispanic is that we're gonna bounce back regardless. So just like tell the truth, don't beat around the bush. Because one, I think a big thing, like as we talked about values a little bit earlier, like I think a big thing that Hispanics value is their time. And so like a big thing with being honest up front is that you save my time. Like you're showing me that you actually care enough about my time and the effort that I'm putting forth in whatever it is or like whatever we're doing or wherever we're going, that you're going to be upfront honest with me right off the bat. Like don't beat around the bush, don't tell me, like we don't, I mean I say we, but like pleasantries and stuff like that, like that's not a big thing in Hispanic culture, like if I went to my mom and I started with, oh, how was your day? Instantly it'd be like, what do you want? Why are you coming at me with how was your day, right? Because like we don't want all that. Like come to me and tell me what it is that you want from me and then get it out of the way. Which is different for some people because I've dealt with some people where I've been like, hey, I need this, X, Y, and Z. And it's been like, wow, you don't even like ask me how my day is. Blah, blah, blah. Why do you want me to go through the pleasantries just for yik yak? Like just this is what I need and I need to get it done. Like that's it, I don't want to go through like the pleasantries are just fake at the end of the day. And I think that's the thing is that like face value is really important for Hispanics. They say first impressions and stuff like that, but I don't think it's first impressions, it's just face value. Don't come to me with crap. Like give it to me straight, tell me what needs to get done, because I'm ready to just get it done and get what I need to do. So yeah.
Okay. And then you're fine. You're totally fine. So, next question. Are there any phrases that you struggled with whenever you first left home, or anything that you still struggle with being overseas?
Phrases?
Yeah. Like, or maybe there's some that you grew up with that, like, words, phrases that you still use that might not necessarily translate, or they don't, I'll let you say them and people are just like, it's weird.
Excuses are like buttholes.
I mean, yeah, there's one right there. There's one.
That's the one that was ingrained in me.
I know one for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, elephant. You ever eat an elephant?
Oh, I hate that saying. I hate that saying. That saying makes no sense to me. That's the worst saying in the world. But I mean, I don't know. They're not good sayings, so I don't know.
Yeah, this is.
My dad used to tell us all the time if we had half a brain, we'd be dangerous.
Oh yeah.
I guess. I mean, I guess like I don't know. Sayings are hard. Like I don't think there's a lot of things that you looking for like one-liners.
No, but
just like
I'm gonna trying to connect it back to the last one.
okay.
So
I mean, we got like the chancla. Like I don't know what you're looking for.
But do you think that is because your culture is a little bit more direct, and that you don't have a lot of those like sayings or stuff? Like you have a couple one-liners. I've heard your dad say, but for the most part,
yeah.
there's not like those filler stuff.
Oh, 100%. I can't talk to people like that at work. If I told somebody if you had half a brain you'd be dangerous, they'd cry. And I'd be like, all right, calm down. It was just a joke. Like, like that's the thing is that like, yeah, like my dad would always say stuff like that. I mean, my dad's filled with these crazy one-liner things that are just like, I mean, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, like, I had to build a really thick skin, right? Because over the years, and I've lost it a little bit, because nobody talks to me like my dad. But I feel like the big thing is that it is a joke, but it's coming from somebody that loves you. Like, that's the thing, is that, like, I mean, I guess that's why I don't have a lot of one-liners from my mother, because there's that disconnect, right? And I talk about my dad more than I talk about my mom. So, like, with my dad, is that, like, I know that my dad's love has no bound. Like, I know that there's nothing I could do to ever lose my dad's love or anything like that. So anything that my dad says to me, borderline that it's not like something completely hateful, right? But, like, telling me that, like, if I had a full brain to think with, I would be doing something I wasn't supposed to be. Like I understand what he's saying, and it's not in a way that is like, my dad's always there to make me better. And so that's the thing, is that, like, if I'm doing something, it's like, oh, I'm doing something really dumb, I don't know. And my uncles would say stuff like that to us too. Like, it wasn't just my dad. I feel like my uncles were, I don't know. I feel like my uncles at the end of the day were hand in hand raising me, like, with my dad. So I feel like when it comes to the question or whatever that you said that I'm forgetting, it's I think that, yes, with what I grew up with and the thick skin that I have, I know that a lot of people don't have that. And so I know that that's not something that I can just say to people, or I can't really expect people to understand that it comes from a loving place, but it is kind of mean, and and it can hurt people's feelings, especially if they don't know. They don't know that I'm just joking, but I'm actually like, no, that was really stupid,
But yes, I am. So I'm joking with.
Yeah.
So last question. So what are you? What are you doing, like, purposely to teach your kids about your culture, and to grow, like, and raise them in your culture, but also taking things from all the other cultures that you've experienced, that you lived in 4 different countries now, like, so, yeah, give or take. So
I'm definitely not taking anything from Kuwait, but
you've taken some hospitality that you've told me that, like, the way that
the way they treat us at the restaurants is really nice.
Well, that's a weird one to go.
No. No, I don't take anything away from Africa or Kuwait. No offense, but there wasn't a lot of time for me to learn anything in their culture other than how to eat their food. So, I guess, like, I would even say, like, because we got married, and I think that was a culture shock in itself. Okay. I think that, like, whoa. No, it was a culture shock being around your family a lot of times, because, like, a big thing growing up was, like, the respect thing, right? Was knowing not to, just having the knowing not to talk over certain people, not to interrupt, not to, you know what I mean? Like, that was just ingrained. That was just ingrained. And I remember when we were, when it was me, you, your sister, and your mom, and you interrupted your mom, and I thought, oh my God, like, that was the rudest thing in the world. But it was just, like, normal Tuesday for y'all. And I was just like, he just interrupted you. Like, that was rude. So, like, but I just think that, like, that's just a difference, in our culture. And I think that, but that's, like, crazy, right? Like, I think that I've learned, and I like the fact that, like, I've taken that to be like, she's your mom. At the end of the day, you don't put her on a pedestal, right? Like, I mean, like, yes, you worship, like, everything she's done for you, but she should be humble. You know what I mean?
No.
And but I feel like, and I've taken that with me in parenting, because, like, growing up, it was yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Like, you spoke to your parents with respect, and I get it, right? Like, you should, because of everything that they do for you, but also, like, they should have a humility of, like, serving the kids, because I think that puts a better relationship between me and the kids, of, like, well, no, it's not yes or no, sir, because I'm your mom, and, like, that's your dad. At the end of the day, if you need something, we're here. regardless, you know? And I think it also just shows that it's not like a tit for tat. Like, you don't have to be respectful for me to give you something, you know? Like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna give you what you need because I love you. You know, you don't have to do anything to earn that. And I think that's a big thing that, like, I've taken away. And I already talked about, like, the German thing, you know, letting them be kids and individuals and, you know, do what they want without trying to control them. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.